Right. Good morning, everybody. Hopefully you've all found me. It's 9:28, so I'm just going to post that we're live. We've just got 2 minutes until we start. Look at Pizia pauses. Okay. So what you'll need today is a chair and your mat. And your straight backed wooden chair will do. Okay. No, she's pottering around. Right, so good morning everybody, let's go. So we're going to take our chair and I'm going to line my toes up against the base of the legs, the back of the legs, driving strongly into the big toe joint, drawing the bones of the first two toes together. So the big toe and the second toe, drawing the two bones together, not from the toe end, but from the ankle end. And you'll feel it draw the ankle into the center line. You'll feel your inner calf light up. And that line of energy running up from the arch of the foot up into the pelvic floor is ignited. Then with that active, the big toe joint active into the floor, I slowly start pinning down through the outside blade of the foot. Once I have equal distribution across the left and right of each foot, thank you Zion, and I bend the knees a little and pull up all the muscles of the thighs, front, back, side of each knee strongly engaged, all the knee fully supported, front, back and sides. Draw the belly back, lift the chest, rotate the shoulder blades back, suck the arm bones into their sockets, put your hands gently on front of the chair and nice and slowly slide those hips back. Keep the body vertical. I'm not folding forward. I'm keeping the knees bent, slowly drawing the knees down, down, down. The chair is going to stop my knees from floating forwards. I draw the belly back one more time, Zion. Try and leave this alone, sweetheart. This you have to be careful. Mama's using this one. Huh? Got to leave that phone where it is. Okay? Sliding the tailbone back, draw the belly back, strongly drawing all the muscles of the pelvis and the abdomen back into the front side of the spine, flattening the belly, supporting the lumbar spine. Shoulders back, arm bones sucked into their sockets, and slowly, slowly sliding the hips down and back, down and back, down and back. When you feel your max and the knees are stopping you from going forward, stop. Take a big deep breath in. Fill the lungs, expand the rib cage, feel the vertebrae lengthening away from each other, and as you breathe out, set the tailbone a little deeper back. Driving into the big toe joint, outside blade of each foot active into the floor. Take another big deep breath in, filling the lungs, expanding the front of the rib cage, and slowly sit down a little deeper. A little internal rotation of the thigh bones in the hip sockets to open up the glutes and the sacroiliac joint. A gentle squeeze together of the inner thighs. And one more time, I draw the belly back into the front of the spine, making the front body long and flat. Shoulders pulled back. Shoulder blades rotated down towards the base and center of the spine. One more time, drawing the belly back into the front of the spine. Take a big deep breath in. Fill the whole rib cage. Fill lungs. Fill the entire rib cage. Feel those ribs expanding. And as you breathe out, sit down a little deeper. Draw the belly back. Drive into the big toe joint. Outside blades of the feet parallel, so turn your toes in a little bit. Outside blades of the feet active into the floor. Shoulders rotated back, arm bones sucked into their sockets, back of the neck long. Collarbone lifted. Sit down a little deeper. Now the legs should be burning a little. just got my hands here to stop myself from falling back. Take one more big deep breath in. Draw the belly back as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, slide down a little deeper. And hold it there. Float those arms up. Yes, sweetheart. Oh, we're doing the class now. Slide those hips down a little deeper. Draw the belly back. Suck the arm bones into their sockets. And we've got 30 seconds here. And Zion's going to count it out for us. 29, 28, 27. Drive into the big toe joint. Pull the knees back. Internal rotation of the thigh bones in the hip sockets. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Pull the shoulders back. Suck the arm bones into the sockets. Float the hands up a little higher. Lengthen through the back of the neck. Draw the belly back into the front of the spine. Sit the hips a little deeper. We've got 15 seconds left. Drive into the big toe joint. Don't let those toes lift off the floor. Drive into the outside blade of the foot. Inner thighs squeezing together. Belly pulled back. Shoulders rotated back and down. Aye! For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And come up. Excuse me. And roll out those hips. And roll out those hips. And here we go. So nicely rolling out those hips. The nature of the lockdown. Nobody to look after the little lady while Mummy teaches the class. So, so little lady will join in with the class with a very dirty face. What have you been eating? Mud again, it seems. Okay, let's bring those toes back to the bottom of the legs. Let's just move that thing so they can see us properly. Hold tight to that chair, little lady. And toes against the bottom of the chair. See that so you can see my feet. And here we go. Look, little Zion, you're on the camera. Wedging those, just resting the edge of the big toe onto the back of the chair. Draw the belly back, lift the chest, rotate the shoulders back. And slowly sit those hips down. Sitting those hips down, sliding down, down, and down. Oh dear. We're all right. And sliding those hips down, down, down. And here we go. We're going to do 20 pulses. Squeeze the bottom and squeeze. Belly drawn back strongly and squeeze. Oh dear. And squeeze. And squeeze. And squeeze. And squeeze. 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 And she's a little monkey. Squeeze.
Keep the knees
and
on
15.
the chair.
Yes, 14. Belly pull back 13. 12. 11. 10. 9. 8. Oh dear. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. With a weight. 2. 1. And roll out those hips. Hips from side to side. I think we might have to, yeah. Yeah, thanks, Mum. Actually, we should just wake Rajesh up and make him do something. Change. Okay, feet back on the chair. Draw the belly back, lift the chest, rotate the shoulder blades back and down. And we'll try those pulses one more time. So now we're going to go down. Now, in fact, now we're going to take a small, like a toe length step away from the chair. Draw the belly back, lift the chest. And slide down. So what I want is that the toes, the knees don't float forward of the feet now. The knees don't float forward of the toes. So adjust your chair so it keeps your knees above your toes. And now we're going to go down just a little deeper, a little deeper, a little deeper. And once you get to your max, draw the belly back into the front of the spine. I don't want my belly hanging out here. I want to pull it back. Feeling all the pelvic abdominal musculature pulling back into the front side of the spine. Pull back, pull back, pull back. Now all I'm concentrating on here is drawing these deep abdominal muscles back into the front of the spine, supporting the lumbar spine, lengthening the lumbar vertebra, creating space, opening up the lower back. Lower back should be aching nicely, all the musculature around the sacroiliac joint and the lumbar spine. Drawing that belly, that deep abdominal musculature back into the front side of the spine. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. A little internal rotation of the thigh bones in the hip sockets to open up that sacroiliac joint just a little more. And hold it for another 20. Float those arms up. 19, 18, 17, 16. Come down. 15, 14. Pull that belly back. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come up and roll out those hips. And here we can just bring the chair now a little closer to us. In fact, we're going to do, we'll push the chair away, step back, pull up on the thighs, get the hips directly over the ankles, and using the chair to release your body weight, I'm slowly going to hinge forward at the hips, keeping the belly pulled back. I'm not letting my hips sway back. My hips are staying directly over the ankles, drawing the belly back into the front of the spine. Lifting strongly up, supporting that lumbar spine, lengthening, feeling the lower back open as I lean forward, hinging forward at the hips, pulling up strongly on the thigh muscles, driving into the big toe joint. Outside blade of the feet active into the floor, squeezing the bones of the first two toes together to activate the ankles and lift up through the arch into the pelvic floor. Keep the spine alive. Draw the belly back, rotate the shoulder blades back and round now. Take a big deep breath in. And as you breathe out, twist down now and grab the opposite leg of the chair. If I've got my right hand now, and I'm grabbing the left leg of the chair, pulling up on the thighs, drawing the belly up into the front of the spine, lovely stretch down the right side of the back. Using the left hand to pull that left shoulder up, a little internal rotation of the thigh bones and the hip sockets, a little squeeze together of the inner thighs, drawing the belly back strongly into the front side of the spine. Take a big deep breath in, and as you breathe out, slowly release. Put the right hand on the top of the chair and slowly reach down for the right leg with your left hand. Again, pulling up strongly on the thighs, ensuring that the hips have not rocked back. Hips are directly stacked above the knees and above the ankles. The belly's drawn back strongly into the front of the spine. Right hand is lifting the right shoulder. Left arm is drawing the left shoulder forward while I pull the belly back into the front of the spine and I pull up strongly on both thighs. Hip flexors active, drawing that middle body down towards the thighs. Lovely stretch up the back of the legs, driving into the big toe joints, squeezing the bones of the first two toes together while I use the left arm to draw that left shoulder forward, squeezing the two shoulder blades together behind me. Drawing that shoulder girdle round and release. Come up, bend the knees. Come up. Right, now we can put your hands on the chair. And now we don't have the chair to keep up to remind us to keep our knees over the ankles, so we have to consciously do that. So looking down at my feet and using the chair to release my body weight into the squat, drawing the belly back and releasing slowly down, not allowing the knees to come forward. Knees pulling back, strongly pulling back. Feeling a lovely stretch in the back of the hamstrings as I draw the body down, 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 pulling the knees back over the ankles at all times, driving into the big toe joint. Once I'm in, release the hands and hold it for 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, chest up, 5, knees back, 4, 3, 2, 1, come up and roll out the hips. going to take the bring the feet together, pulling up on both thighs, drawing the belly back, lift the chest. And I'm gently going to taking the weight into the left leg, bring the right knee up. Bring the right knee up, lift the collarbone, rotating the shoulders round and back. And then slowly I'm going to, as I look back over the right shoulder, stretch that right leg back, keeping that right hip down. And then bring this up and stretch it back. And bring it up and stretch back. Look over that shoulder. Bring it up and stretch it back. Bring it up. Stretch it back. Not allowing this hip to open. Keeping that right hip down. And lift and stretch. And lift. As I push that right leg back, I keep the right hip active down. And lift and look back over that right shoulder. And 3 left. Look back. And 2 left. Look back. 1 left. Look back. And release. Touch down. Take the weight into the right leg. Lift the left knee. Pull the shoulders back, draw the belly in, lift the collarbone, pull up strongly on the right thigh, driving strongly into the big toe joint of the standing leg, outside blade of the standing foot active into the floor. Then nice and slowly the first few, not going too far, but harnessing this left hip as I push back and look back over the left shoulder. Bring it in, driving that left leg back and away towards the wall behind me while I keep that left hip down. So lift up, poise, toes point down. As I extend away, I extend the ball of the foot away, adjusting that left hip so it stays parallel to the right. Lift, extend. Standing leg straight, extend, lift, extend, lift, extend, lift, extend. 5 left, extend. 4 left, extend. 3 left, extend. 2 left, extend. 1 left, extend. And place that leg down. And another little roll out of the hips. Right. Turn the chair back to the side. We do a little more of what we did yesterday. Good to open up the hips. So taking the weight into the right leg with the chair on my left side. I'm going to bring that left knee up and stretch it out to the side. Feet, hips and shoulders in one line. Drawing the belly back, lifting the chest. Pulling up strongly on the right thigh, engaging the abdominal musculature into that right hip to stabilize. Then I lift that left leg and hold it for 20, 19, 18. Trying to keep that upper body vertical. 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. Keep that left hip rotated forward. 11, 10, 9, 8. Outside blade of the lifted leg parallel to the floor. 7, 6. Arch back out of the hips. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. And then from the back side, taking the weight into the left leg, lift the right. Extend the right leg onto the chair. Outside blade of the right foot parallel to the floor. Keep the body vertical. Lock the abdominal musculature into that left hip. Take a big deep breath in. Pull up on the left thigh and lift the right leg. Squeeze the hips forward. Keep that right foot internally rotated. Right thigh rotated internally in the hip socket. Lift the body for 15, 14, 13. Outside blade of the lifted leg parallel to the floor. 11, 10. Pull the belly back. 9, 8, 7, 6. Lift that leg. Pull up on the thighs. Lift the body vertical. 5, 4. Belly pulled back. 3, 2, 1. And release. And roll out those hips. Right. down a little lower. You see me? Yeah. Okay, right, let's put the feet, in fact, let's start with setting the hands up. So palms into the floor. Yet ensuring that there's no light or space between the palm of your hand and your mat. So driving, flattening strongly through the palms, putting up on the biceps, triceps, driving into the thumb and first finger, and then equally activating into the outside blade of the hand, sucking the arm bones into their sockets, rotating the shoulders round and back, drawing the belly up, engaging the glutes into the base of the spine. So opening the glutes, opening, turning the tailbone away, driving the pelvic floor away from me like a plunger to lengthen the spine, and then pulling the belly up into the front side of the spine and engaging the glutes from the outside in towards the center line, like I'm grabbing my spine with my glutes. Then lift the right leg onto the chair, belly pulled up, full body alive from fingertips to toes, fully connected, release, and put the right leg, left leg onto the chair. And here we hold, driving into the heels, drawing the belly up into the front of the spine. Glutes squeezed from the outside into the center line. Shoulders rotated round and back. I'm lifting my rib cage up into the front side of the shoulder blades while I drive the shoulder blades into the back of the rib cage. First finger and thumb active into the floor. Outside blade of the hand active into the floor, driving into the palm side of the knuckle joints while I draw the belly up strongly into the front side of the spine. Hold it. We've got another 20 seconds. Pull up on the thigh muscles. Draw the belly up into the front of the spine. And come over now into side plank. Rocking the outside blade of the right foot onto the chair and the arch of the left foot on the chair. And slowly I twist back onto the balls of the feet, and then rocking over to the left side, outside blade of the left foot on the chair, arch of the right foot on the chair. And hold it, hold it, hold it. Again, touching the hands down, coming back onto the toes. Then rolling onto the outside blade of the right foot, inside arch of the left foot. And hold it, hold it, hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back onto this. Hands, rolling onto the outside blade of the left foot, inside arch of the right. Right arm in the air, belly pulled back, glutes engaged, pull up on the thighs. Shoulder blades rotated round and back, activating the shoulder blades onto the rib cage, pulling the rib cage into the front side of the shoulder blades for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands onto the floor. And for the last 30 seconds, let's go. Hold it now. If you've fallen out, come back in. If you've come out, come back in. If you ever fall out, you come back in. Reoxygenate the muscles. Straight away, come back in. 15 seconds left now. Draw the belly up into the front of the spine. Hold it. If you feel any pain in the lumbar spine, draw the belly up stronger. Engage the glutes into the base of the spine. If your middle body hangs, you're going to create pressure in the lumbar spine. Draw the belly up. Engage the glutes for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And come down. And release. And stretch out those hands. So just taking your right hand, turning it over. So the palm of the hand is facing up. Straightening out that right forearm. And then slowly rotating the forearm through the wrist joint. And then slowly release, turn it the other way. And one more time with the palm flat on the floor, rotating that forearm through the wrist joint. And release. Left hand, palm facing up. Flattening the skin of the hand into the floor and rotating left and right, left and right. And touch down. And twist, 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 and release. Shake out those hands. Okay. Right, now we're going to come onto our backs. I think we can put the chair on the side. And here we go. I'm going to put the arch of the foot into the chair, into the edge of the chair. Can you see? See, I'm going to put the arch of the foot into the chair. Yeah. Feet about hip width apart. Belly drawn back into the front of the spine. Glutes open but engaged into the base of the spine. So I'm not shortening here. I'm keeping the glutes open. Belly pulled back into the front of the spine. And then from the outside in, I squeeze the glutes. Like I'm grabbing the base of the spine with my glutes. Lifting the collarbone towards the base of the skull. Arms up. And let's squeeze. Let's lift. Keep pulling the belly back into the front of the spine. Maybe just wiggle your way away a little so that the knees are above the hips. Bring your feet together and lift the right leg for 10. Keep rotating the pelvis back, drawing the tailbone in towards the floor. I'm not tucked here. Front body is long for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Touch the right foot down. Lift the left leg. Rotate the tailbone back. Pull the belly back into the front of the spine. Pull up strongly on the left thigh for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. And right leg up. Driving the balls of the feet into the chair. Pulling the belly back into the front of the spine. Straightening out that right leg for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the last one. Let's go. 10. Pull up on the left thigh. Pushing the ball of the right foot into the chair. Draw the belly back into the front of the spine. Pull up strongly on that left leg for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Touch those feet down. Drive the hips up. Pull the belly back into the front of the spine. Strongly pulling back into the front of the spine. And release. And drive those hips up. Belly back into the front of the spine. Strongly pulling back. Squeezing the glutes forward. Drawing the deep front abdominal muscles back into the front of the spine. Slowly release. And drive the hips up. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your feet together. Lift the right leg. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Got to keep that left foot pulling towards you so the chair doesn't slide. 3, 2, 1. Change legs. 10, 9. Draw that belly back. 7, 6. Squeeze the hips forward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Touch down. And straighten out those legs. Drawing the belly back into the front of the spine. Stretching out the back of the hamstrings. Reaching the heels up to the sky. Pushing into the ball of the big toe joint. And release. Right. And come back, chair back to the edge of the mat. That's the edge of the mat. And let's bring we're coming onto our left side now. I'm going to put the outside blade of the left foot on the chair and the inside arch of the right foot just behind it. Oh, I should have reminded you to bring a towel or a small cloth that you can just hang onto the edge of the chair so that it doesn't dig into your feet too much. If this is too much for you, then you can put your feet on the floor. So first try, get the outside blade of the left foot on the chair, right foot inside arch of the right foot. Then lift the rib cage up into that left shoulder blade. So I'm not hanging here. I've lifted that rib cage up, activated the lats of the left side, and then lifted myself up. Drawing the belly back into the front of the spine, right arm in the air. And very slowly I'm going to come forward and reach through. Back and arch. Forward, reach through. Again, if I can't do it with the feet on the chair, I come down to the floor. And 3, and back, and 4, and back, and 5, and back, and 6, and back, 7, back, 8, back, 9, back. If you fall out, come back in. 10, back, 2 left, 11, back, 12, back, and release. Come over to the other side. Now with the outside blade of the right foot on the chair, inside arch of the left foot, right forearm into the mat, lifting the rib cage up into that right shoulder blade. So again, I'm not hanging here. Lifted the rib cage up, activated the lats. And then you can use your left hand just to pop yourself up and hold. Drawing the belly back into the front of the spine, stacking the left hip on top of the right hip, then reach through. 1, and arch back. 2, arch back. 3, arch back. 4, arch back. 5, arch back. 6, arch back. 7, back. 8, back. 9, back. 10, back. 2 left. 11, back. 12, back. And release. Right, back over onto the left side. Back over onto the left side. And we're going to do the hip dips. So from here, left outside blade of the left foot on the chair, inside arch of the right foot. Again, lifting that rib cage. Oh, if you found that one not too hard, you could attempt now to come up onto the hand. If you struggled with the last one, stay on your elbow. And if you didn't manage on the chair, stay on the floor. But if you managed all of that quite easily, you can now put the palm of your left hand on the floor, lift the rib cage up into that left shoulder blade, pop yourself up. Maybe just adjust so that your feet are in the right position, and we go for the hip drop. 1, squeeze. 2, squeeze. If you can't do it on your hand, stay on your forearm. Squeeze. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And change sides. Right, outside blade of the right foot on the chair, inside arch of the left foot. Lift the rib cage up into that right shoulder blade. Use the left arm to lift yourself up. Pulling up strongly on both thigh muscles. Feet at 90 degrees to the shin bones. Palms flat on the floor, and let's go. 1. Dip it down as deep as you can. 2. Squeeze those obliques to come up. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. And release. Right. Let's just sit back on the heels a little. Stretch forward. Pulling the tailbone back, reaching the fingertips forward. Drawing the belly up into the front of the spine. Drawing the tailbone back. Softening the spine down. Drawing the belly button towards the floor. Drawing the shoulder blades round and back towards the base and center of the spine. Arms are alive and active. Fingertips reaching forward and away. Shoulder blades drawing back into the base and center of the spine, stretching out those arms. And release, come forward. And here again, you can just roll out the hips, left and right. And then we come back into push-up position. Palms into the floor. Driving, flattening the palms of the hands into the floor, ensuring that there's no light or air sneaking through between the skin and the mat. Putting up on the biceps and the triceps, sucking the arm bones into their sockets, rotating the shoulder blades round and back, lifting the rib cage up into the front side of the shoulder blades while I drive the shoulder blades into the back of the rib cage. Drawing the belly up into the front of the spine, keeping the glutes open and then squeezing them from the outside in towards the center of towards the base of the spine, grabbing the spine with my glutes, then lifting the left foot onto the chair, drawing the belly up, activating that left glute, left hip flexor, so that I can seamlessly release that right foot in. Now I'm going to bring the left knee in. Take it out. Left knee into the armpit. Take it out. Oh, left knee into the right armpit. Take it out. Left knee into the center. Take it out. Left knee into the left armpit. Take it out. Keep those hips straight. I'm in plank position. It's not downward dog. And right armpit. And release. Center. And out. Left armpit. Out. Right armpit. Out. Center. Out. Left. Out. Right. Out. Last cycle. Left. Out. Right. Center. Out. Right. Out. And release. If you can't manage that on the chair, you put your feet on the floor. Better on the chair because I'm trying to do this now with the hip, with the body straight in a push-up position, in a plank position. Slightly easier having the hips lifted. So again, if you can't manage this on the chair, you get yourself into a downward dog position. And when we do the right series now, you rock forward and back, touch down, rock forward, touch down, and rock forward. Touch down. For those of you that are up on the chair, let's go. Now lifting the right foot and then the left. And let's go. Right knee in and out. Outside and out. Inside and out. Center. Out. Right. Out. Left. Out. Center. Out. Right. Out. Left, out, center, out, right, out, left. Last cycle. Center, out, right, out, left, out, and release. And sit back. Hello, puppy. Sit back on those hips. Reach the hands forward. Pulling the tailbone back. Hello, little puppy. Are you drinking my sweat? Are you drinking my sweat, little puppy? And slowly come up. Let's roll out those wrists. Okay, little one. Okay. Right, let's come sit on the chair. Sit on the chair. Just slide your bottom to the edge. Put your heel of your hand into the. Oh dear, I forgot to turn this off. I'll just turn that sound down before we get more phone calls. Let's turn that all the way down. Okay, try that again. Right, so sitting on the edge of the chair, the heels of the hands on the corners. I'm going to stretch the heels out in front of us, trying to get the feet at 90 degrees to the shin bones, toes splayed beautifully up like 10 little rays of sunshine. Not so easily said as done. Pull up on the thighs, and I'm just going to wiggle those feet forward, up, and just squeeze the hips off the edge of the chair. Shoulders drawn back, collarbone lifted, back of the neck long, lifting myself up, not sagging here, lifting up. Trying to lift myself out of the shoulder girdle while pulling up on the thighs and reaching down into the heels. Pulling the tailbone back, deep front pelvic and abdominal musculature drawn back into the front of the spine. You can just wiggle those feet forward, and I'm just going to let myself down and up, down and up, 3 and up, 4 and up, 5 and up, 6 and up, 7 up, 8 up, 9 up, 10 and up, and release. And again, shake out those hands. So stretch, interlace your fingers, stretch those arms up. Bring the hands forward. Keeping the shoulder blades pulled back, drawing together at the back of the spine. And then activating the lats here and pulling the shoulders down, not from the front, but from the back. And again, so wiggle yourself to the front of the chair. Palms of the hands into the corners. Straighten out those legs. Slowly wiggling those heels away, away, away. Lift yourself out of the shoulder girdle. Feet at 90 degrees to the shin bones, pulling up strongly on the thighs. Draw the belly back into the front of the spine. Lift the left leg. For 10, 9, 8, 7. Pull up strongly on both thighs. 6, 5, 4. Pull up on the thighs. 3, 2, 1. Release. Lift the left leg, right leg. Pull up on both thighs. 10. Belly pulled back. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And left leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Change legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and release. Shake out those wrists. You can bring your feet a little wider than your hips. Lift the chest. And slowly, keeping the back slightly arched and pulling the tailbone down into the floor, really driving the pelvic floor into the chair, into the seat of the chair. And slowly, I'm going to release my middle body down through the middle. Not folding forward, back's arched up. Slowly releasing down through the chair. Pulling the tailbone back, the sit bones back down into the chair. Drawing my sit bones down into the chair. Slowly releasing the body through the legs. Keeping the belly drawn back up into the front of the spine. Slowly softening, driving into the heels. Big toe joint active into the mat so that my feet aren't rolling out here. Balls of the toes active into the mat. Outside blades of the feet active into the mat. Slowly releasing the belly down, body down, down, down. Then I can put the palms of the hands in front of me, driving into the hands now and into the feet equally, just squeezing those hips up from the seat. If you can, push those palms down into the floor. Big toe joint active into the floor, pull up on the thigh muscles. Outside blades of the feet active into the floor. Draw the belly in. Rotate the shoulder blades round and back so that you're stretching through here and not from here. I'm stretching from here down. The stretch is coming through here, not from here. Down, I'm reaching up through from my belly button, underneath my arms and down the length of the arms. Lovely stretch up the back of the legs, pulling up strongly on the thighs. And hold it for 10, 9, drawing the belly back up into the front of the spine, engaging the hip flexors. Pull up on the thigh muscles, strongly engaging the thigh muscles. 3, 2, 1, and release. And come up and roll up those hips. And just squeezing the hips from left to right. Right, we're going to lie back on the mat now. In fact, I'll do this from the other direction today so that you can see from the head side what I'm doing. So I'm lying back on the mat. Could you see me? Yes. So reaching the heels away and bringing the toes up to the sky. Pulling up on the thigh muscles, and I'm rooting through my sacroiliac joint, which is this place where the spine, the hips meet the spine. This bony bit on my lumbar spine, where the hips meet the spine. I'm rooting down through that sacroiliac joint. If you can get that root, you'll feel the belly drawing, sinking down into the front side of the spine. Trying to maintain that root for this last series. So pushing the heels away, toes up to the sky, lengthening through the base of the skull, rotating the shoulders back, lift the head, and let's turn to the left. Pulling both shoulders back into the floor, squeezing that left ear towards the left side, lengthening the left ear away from the left shoulder, pulling the throat back, tucking the chin in, pulling the right shoulder back into the floor, squeeze, and slowly come over to the right. Pinning both shoulders back into the floor, keeping the back of the neck long, chin tucked in, throat pulled back, left shoulder pinned back into the mat. Squeeze, and slowly coming over to the left. Shoulders pinned back, back of the neck long, throat tucked, pulled back, chin tucked in, left ear lengthening away from the left shoulder, right shoulder pinned back into the floor, squeeze, squeeze, and over to the right. Keeping that head off the floor at all times, left shoulder pinned back into the floor, right ear away from right shoulder, throat pulled back, chin tucked in, lengthening the back of the neck, squeeze, left shoulder pulled back, squeeze, and come to the left. Shoulders pulled back, chin tucked in, throat pulled back, back of the neck long, squeeze, squeeze, to the right. Left shoulder pulled back, chin tucked in, throat pulled back, back of the neck long, left shoulder back, squeeze, squeeze, come to the center, everything screaming and burning, right ear to right shoulder, back of the neck long, chin tucked in, shoulders pinned back, come to the left, shoulders pulled back, chin tucked in, throat pulled back of the neck long, squeeze, come over to the right, squeeze, come over to the left, squeeze, to the right, squeeze, to the left, squeeze, to the right, squeeze, to the left, squeeze, center, chin to chest, Come, pups. 1 second, puppy. Little pups. Shoulders pinned back and lengthen away. Chin to chest. Lengthen away. Chin to chest. Lengthen away. Chin to chest. Lengthen away and release. And cradling your head in your hands. Come up to sitting. And it's you can even just lift the skin, exposing those sit bones. I'm sitting nicely on my sit bones. Come pups. Cuckoos. No puppy. Give me that. You're going to tear my thing. Give me that. Lift the chest, using the hands on the knees to draw the upper body forward, drawing the belly back into the front of the spine, lifting the collarbone into the base of the skull. So this action, lifting the collarbone into the base of the skull, activating the sternocleidomastoid, the muscle that runs from the base of the skull into the clavicle. So lifting that collarbone. See how that lift. I want my rib cage to be elevated through this muscle. So I shouldn't be here with all of this constricted. That collarbone is lifted, elevating the rib cage, lighting up the back of my body, so that this is soft, and it is only supporting the posture, not holding it. Shoulder blades activated onto the back of the rib cage. Elbows drawn down and back, activating the lats. Belly pulled back into the front of the spine. Again, lift the collarbone. And very slowly turn to the left. Squeeze, squeeze. And slowly to the right. Squeeze, squeeze. To the left, collarbone lifted, belly drawn back, shoulder blades active onto the back of the rib cage, squeeze, squeeze, to the right, squeeze, squeeze, to the left, squeeze, squeeze, to the right, squeeze, come to the center, lift the collarbone, draw the belly back into the front of the spine, lift the collarbone, shoulder blades engaged, chin tucked down, throat pulled back, back of the neck long, driving into the sit bones, rooting through the pelvic floor. And now take the left ear to the left shoulder. Squeeze, pulling both shoulders down and back, lifting the collarbone. Squeezing that left ear down to the left shoulder. They'll be stretched down the right side of the neck. And then come to the center. Pulling both shoulders back, lifting the collarbone, drawing that right ear to the right shoulder, belly drawn back. Leaning forward from the hips, arching back, collarbone lifted, squeezing that right ear to the right shoulder, and back over to the left. And to the right. Again, I'm just oiling out, stretching out all those places that were burning and screaming in the last floor series. Left and right. center. Bring the chin to the chest, lift the collarbone into the chin, driving the chin into the collarbone, and then slowly looking up and back, up and back, up and back, arching back. And release. A little roll out of those shoulders, reverse. A little twist from left to right, deepening the twist with every movement. Right. Reaching onto the left hand onto the outside of the right knee and drawing the shoulders round a bit deeper. And again onto the other side, right hand onto the left knee. Twisting a little deeper, 2 shoulder blades pulling together behind. And back to the other side. Shoulder blades drawn together behind as I draw the shoulder girdle across. And to the other side. Shoulder blades drawing together behind. Don't want my shoulders forward here. Shoulder blades drawn together. And twist. And again to the other side. Twist. And again to the other side. Twist. Release. Take a big deep breath in. Fill the lungs. Expand the rib cage. And as you breathe out, slowly come forward from the hips, keeping the back arched. Slowly coming forward from the hips. Hands onto the floor. Shoulders drawn together behind you. And not soften forward here. Arching back, stretching through the lats here. If I can, I bring the elbows to the floor. Rooting back down into the pelvic floor muscle. Sit bones active into the floor. Breathing into the areas of tension. And lengthening out of those areas as you breathe out. Breathing into the areas of tension to create space. And as you breathe out, lengthening, softening those areas. Filling the lungs with every breath, deepening the breath, expanding the rib cage, creating space in the body. For as you breathe out, to soften, lengthen, deepen into the stretch. Slowly. Bring the hands up. Stretch your legs out in front of you. A little shake out. Knees on the back of the mat, back of the knees on the mat. Stretch out those toes. And lie back on the mat. Close your eyes. Palms facing up. And now you can allow those feet to drift apart. And as you take a big deep breath in, breathe out, releasing all conscious instruction on the body. Separating the mind and the body. No more muscular action. Oh dear. Allowing the body just to breathe. Daddy. Enjoying all the new the lights you've turned on.